Good morning. So I'm making breakfast. I'm making a 4 grain organic gluten-free blend of oats, millet, amaranth, and buckwheat. And I'm also going to add in some raisins and some cinnamon powder, which I'll put in a little bit later, and maybe some raw honey. So I wanted to do this video because it's super quick and easy to make a non-microwavable gluten-free organic breakfast porridge, which will keep you feeling very full, very satisfied, in addition to the health benefits, which I want to talk about today. So let's start with the reasons why I've added them. First of all, they are a natural sweetener. They help to relieve constipation. So if you're not having at least one bowel movement a day, you should be having a bowel movement after each meal. But if you're not having at least one bowel movement per day, then adding raisins to your diet, organic obviously, is super important in helping to relieve that. Also, raisins are high in iron, so if you are anemic or your iron levels are low at this time, then adding some raisins to your diet will help to increase the iron content of your food. And then it's also high in biotin, so if you're looking at things like improved hair and increased hair growth, then the raisins will help to support that. And interestingly enough, also, raisins help to regulate blood pressure levels. So if you're suffering with high blood pressure, or if you're under like a lot of stress and you know your blood pressure is a little bit high right now, then even snacking on some raisins is beneficial. So let's look at what this looks like before I cook it. So these are the grains. You can't really differentiate or distinguish between all four. So the oats, the amaranth, the buckwheat, and the millet. But this is what it looks like. It's very small, meaning that it's quick to cook, and full of fiber. So it's a whole grain. So the husk, etc., have not been removed from the grains, which means that the fiber content is higher. Fiber not only helps to ensure that you have regular bowel movements, but fiber also nourishes the good gut bacteria. We are all pretty hot on gut health right now, and the fiber will ensure that not only are the good gut bacteria being fed, but it allows for the diversity of bacteria to thrive in the gut. Now, if you haven't looked up anything around gut health, I would encourage you to do so. Gut health is linked to so many things in the functioning of the human body and how we operate. So it's super important to make sure that you're nourishing your gut with fiber, which will then nourish the bacteria that's already there. Now, let's look at the amaranth. The amaranth is the smallest of all the 4 grains in there. It's high in potassium, vitamin A, and vitamin C. So think immunity now with what's happening as we enter cold and flu season. We want to make sure that we're getting a lot of different types of foods in our diet that will help to support the immune system. Amaranth is also high in protein, which means that if you are trying to get a lot of your protein sources from meat, you can reduce that and go to plant-based sources, which in some instances have higher contents of protein than meat. Amaranth is also high in an amino acid called lysine, which is not in most plant foods. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. They are very important in the functioning of the body, and we have 20 amino acids. Of those 29 are essential, meaning that the body cannot make them and we need to get them from food. So having a diverse array of foods, plant-based foods, etc., will help to ensure that you're getting all 20 amino acids in your body. Now let's look at the buckwheat. The buckwheat is the most ancient of all the grains that I've mentioned. It's not actually a wheat, but it's related to the same plant family. I was going to say flamp. Same plant family as sorrel and rhubarb, and it's high in magnesium and potassium, so it supports the nervous system functioning, which I think is super cool. Buckwheat flakes, buckwheat on its own, so not in a flake, but like as a, it's like a little grain, like similar to rice, kind of. It's quite delicious to cook, especially if you add like pomegranate seeds to that. So let's go into millet. I burn my millet every time I cook it on its own. It is really an interesting grain. It makes the porridge very creamy. So I made mine too watery, added a bunch of millet, and it's now very nice and thick. It's high in minerals and B vitamins. So if you're going through a lot of stress right now, B vitamins are really important to add to your diet. Food-based sources first if you can, and then supplement after if you must. But millet contains a lot of B vitamins, antioxidants, and again, as I mentioned, it makes it quite creamy. I always say sprout your foods first, like your grains, but I don't think you can sprout millet because it just turns into like a mush. We've spoken about amaranth and buckwheat as well. Let's look at what I'm going to add. So I'm going to add some hemp seeds. So I love hemp seeds. I think they're really delicious. These are shelled hemp seeds, organic, of course. They're high in essential fatty acids and ALA, which is a type of omega-3 fatty acid. It's also really high in protein, which again, as I said before, protein is really important in the functioning of the body, and high in fiber. So also with hemp seeds, it can help to lower your cholesterol, reduce fatigue. It promotes healthy heart function, boosts the immune system, contains iron again, which we talked about with anemia. And it will help with the growth and repair of muscles, bones, and skin. So this is something that you can add into your porridge or on top of your yogurts or into your smoothies, etc. And then finally with whole grains, what I wanted to talk about was the fact that when we wake up in the morning, sometimes we're either ravenous or we're not really hungry at all. If you're not really hungry at all, don't eat. Wait until you're hungry. Food is energy. If you don't need the energy, you don't need the energy. So I'm not one of those people to say, yes, you must have breakfast in the morning. No, wait until you're hungry. Now, if you are hungry, go for an organic, gluten-free, whole grain-based porridge if you're having porridge in the morning. Try and soak it first if you can, meaning you soak it for 24 hours in apple cider vinegar, and then you rinse that, and then you're getting rid of like phytic acid, etc. But whole grains are high in fiber. We talked about the benefits of having a high fibrous diet. You don't want to have too much, but if you add five to your age, so if I'm 30 and I add 5, that's 35 grams of fiber I need to be having per day to start with. That's a good indication of how much fiber you should be having each day. With the whole grains as well, they're rich in vitamin B, the different types of B vitamins. They're rich in zinc, in iron, magnesium, etc. So all of these minerals have various function in supporting how the body operates, grows, functions, etc. So minerals, super important. The whole grain is low glycemic, so it takes a long time for the body to break the fiber down, break the whole grain down, and as it is low glycemic, it's low in sugar, so the blood sugar levels don't spike, meaning that you don't feel hungry, then not hungry, or tired, then not tired. There's a sustainability that goes on there when you're eating whole grains. Your energy levels are stable, your blood sugar levels are balanced, so you're eating like a normal human being, pretty much. And having a diet high in whole grain has been linked with decreased levels of obesity, decreased levels of cancers, improved heart health, improved brain function, and generally good health. So I wanted to encourage you guys to stay away from the microwavable types of porridge that are high in sugar, high in golden syrup, for example, that you just feel sick after eating it, right? And microwaves, you shouldn't really be using that anyways to start with. Put the pot on, put your almond milk in, put your distilled water, add your raisins, add your hemp seeds, add some silent cinnamon, add some raw honey if you must, add your raisins or whatever toppings. I'm going to add some banana toppings there at the end. My stove has all the grains on it. I'm going to clean it after. But you can add those, and then you have in under 5 minutes something that's super nutritious, super delicious, quick to eat, and you know that you're getting your proteins, your fats, your carbs from healthy sources in a way that's going to nourish and promote like overall health for your body. So I hope that was an interesting video. I think it was interesting. I liked it. If you've got any questions, DM me. Like and share the video for me, please. And any questions, like I just said, DM me. And I will talk with you guys soon. Have a lovely day ahead. Ciao.